Our memories make up who we are. Our memories define us. Our memories really enable each of us to be a distinct, unique person. Alzheimer's disease and the related dementias are fundamental diseases of memory. They really do attack the very essence of what makes you, you, and me, me. And because of that, Alzheimer's disease is a devastating disease for the individual and for their family members. Currently, there are 50 million people worldwide with Alzheimer's disease and a new person being diagnosed every 3 seconds. And it's a growing problem. Certainly, if we look at the last 20 years, stroke and heart attack have been literally cut in half, whereas Alzheimer's disease has increased by 60% in men and 100% in women. You would think with such a major problem that we'd have a drug that works or something, but we don't. We have no disease-modifying drugs. We have no curative drugs for this at all. And it's not for want of trying. Probably the last 200 clinical trials have failed to come up with a meaningful drug that's going to really help people who have this disease. To date, most of our approaches have been based upon this notion called the amyloid hypothesis. And what this says is that there is this protein called amyloid, which is supposedly abnormal in the brain or bad in the brain, and it clumps up. And when it clumps up, it kills brain cells. And so a lot of the drugs that have gone through clinical trials and have studied have really been focused on this hypothesis. And they failed, as I've mentioned. So clearly, we have to go back to the drawing board. We have to rethink this entire process. We need new theories, and from these new theories, we're going to need new drugs. My lab has been working on this for many years, and we have a new theory. We have a new way of thinking about Alzheimer's disease. We don't think of Alzheimer's as fundamentally a disease of the brain. We think of it as fundamentally a disease of the immune system within the brain. Now, the immune system is really important for human health, and the immune system is in literally every organ that we have in our body. If somebody falls off their bicycle and they get injured, the immune system is there to help them repair themselves. If someone gets an infection with a bacteria or a virus, the immune system is there to take that on, to fight it, and to help them through this. And the immune system is very complicated. It uses a lot of messenger molecules called immunopeptides to help coordinate the attack as they help us heal and they help us deal with invaders like bacteria or viruses. If we go to our theory of Alzheimer's disease, we are reframing how we think about this beta amyloid. And you know, in the past we always thought that beta amyloid was abnormal, wasn't supposed to be there. Well, we think that beta amyloid is right where it should be. It's supposed to be there. It's one of these immunopeptides. It's one of these messengers within our immune system. So that if we get repetitive head trauma, beta amyloid is there to help us repair it. If a virus or a bacteria comes along, beta amyloid is there to fight it. And that's where the problem occurs. Because if you have beta amyloid and it's coming in and sees a bacteria and it's going to attack it, well, the problem that we now have is that the beta amyloid gets confused and it can't tell the difference between a bacteria and a brain cell. And so it accidentally attacks our own brain cells. Now, as you can see in this computer graphic, we have beta amyloid and it's above a membrane. And this is beta amyloid looking down going, is it a bacteria or is it a neuron? Can't tell the difference, I'm going to attack. And so this is beta amyloid as it's moving down onto the membrane, getting ready to destroy that cell, be it a bacteria or a brain cell. This then becomes what we call an autoimmune disease. The immune system is actually attacking the host, our brain. I have spent the last 30 years trying to come up with new approaches and new drugs to treat Alzheimer's disease. We're pretty excited in our lab. We think that this autoimmune theory is very sound. We think that it does represent a significant step forward and a new way of thinking. And we're excited about going down this avenue, seeing where it takes us, and finding the molecules that it leads us to, and hopefully one of these will be a very useful drug. You know, if we live long enough, all of us are going to be touched somehow by Alzheimer's disease. We're going to either get it ourselves, have a family member, have a neighbor. It's just so pervasive, it's going to touch all of our lives. And as we know, this is a devastating disease. We need something. We need cures, we need new ways of thinking about it, and we need them now. I think that our notion that Alzheimer's disease is an autoimmune disease and the directions that it will point us to represents this much needed opportunity.